Hey guys, it's Friday, November 27th, 2020, and this is Katrin Dietz, sitting here in the Santa Cruz Mountains. Just finished a beautiful bike ride. Can hear a couple of the steam trains still going in the background here, and just thought I'd take some time to kind of check in about how life's been post breast cancer treatment. As you may know, I finished radiation on September 23rd, and that's obviously a couple months ago now. And just kind of adjusting to this new life post breast cancer treatment, and what is it like, and it's been a lot. I'll tell you that much. I am really one of those kind of just get it done kind of people, and I'm a big believer in gratitude and perspective, and it's all relative and all that kind of stuff. And so I'm constantly thinking how things could be worse, or things could be worse, right? But things can also be better, right? So, I mean, it is all relative, but I'll tell you, it's been tough the last couple months. It's like you finish these months of, chemotherapy and radiation, and everything is regimented, and your life is appointments and visits, and you're doing something to fight, and suddenly it stops, and then you're just kind of released into the world, and it's like, okay, we'll see you in a few months for a checkup, but and it's a little bit more disconcerting than I thought. I was expecting to feel like really happy and just light and just relieved and just completely like almost euphoric at the end, and my gosh, I definitely felt happy and I definitely felt relieved, and it was like, yes, I don't have to drive over to Santa Clara every day for radiation, like stuff like that. That was a relief, but the emotional and psychological effects are, they've been their own deal. It surprised me a little bit. I'm pretty happy most of the time, happy-go-lucky, and I've got a pretty good, idea about relativity, and it's all relative, right, and all that kind of stuff. But the last couple of months have been pretty challenging. The hardest part is it's almost like there's like a post-traumatic stress. You feel like you've been implanted with a time bomb that's ticking inside of you, and you don't know how much time is on it, but you know it's going to go off someday. That fear of recurrence, of it coming back, is like nothing I've ever imagined. And I'm a very logical person. I love science, I love learning, I love data. And the more I research and the more I read about the mystery of cancer, and the more I look at my diagnosis, I was stage 2B. When I had my mastectomy on February 26, 2020, I had a 44 millimeter primary tumor on my left side, invasive ductal carcinoma, and it had spread to 3 of my lymph nodes in my left axilla, and so all those were removed. And it's ER positive, estrogen receptor and progesterone receptor positive, HER2 negative, and BRCA negative. But having a young age at diagnosis of 39, and then the size of it and the lymph nodes affected, when you start looking at like 15-year recurrence rates and 15-year survival rates, like it's almost gets about 50-50. It's like, I mean, I've seen statistics of 47% for recurrence rate for somebody in my situation with similar characteristics. So you start looking ahead at the future, and not that there was ever a guarantee before of time, because there's never really been there's never a guarantee, right? You never know when you're gonna die. You never know when it's, life's random. But now I've got a different perspective on it. It really does feel like there's been some sort of like time bomb, or like something like implanted in me, some kind of timer that's, it's, and there's a backhoe in the background. It's been really tough, and I think about recurrence every day. I think about, I wonder where else in my body did it go, and one of the hardest questions that people ask me, and bless their heart, because it's a valid question, is how do you know it worked? And the short answer for that is you really don't. They're not doing a PET scan on me or any sort of thing like that. The plan is for the next 2 years, they'll monitor me and see me every 3 months for checkups. But a lot of it is also kind of based on how you feel. Like if I don't feel well, I'm supposed to go see my doctor and stuff like that. And there are tests and scans and stuff that they could do if there were some, suspicion. But until then, you're just kind of assuming things worked, and it's kind of spooky, just kind of being out here now. And I mean, on the flip side, I'm super grateful for every day. I've been riding my bike like crazy and just getting outside and just really appreciating the fall colors, and just life is beautiful, and that never ends, and that will keep going with or without me, whether I die, whatever happens. There's a lot to be grateful for, and but it's just at the flip side. It's like I feel sort of there's sort of a shame that goes with having cancer. I have to say, for somebody who has always really prided myself on being athletic and strong and competitive, and it's been a really hard pill to swallow that I'm not perfect and I'm not mortal, and I knew I wasn't perfect. It's not like it wasn't, I don't mean it like that. I just mean I eat right. I exercise for years. I have a low stress lifestyle. I drink lots of water. I take really good care of myself usually, and so to have this happen is sort of just like feels a little bit like damaged goods, and it's humbling. It's a really hard pill to swallow sometimes. So yeah, it's been a lot, and so yeah. Anyway, just talking about the humble pie that this has been, and the humility, and I'm a big fan of humility. I'm a big fan of laughing at yourself, and nobody's perfect and all that, but when you get this diagnosis, it's like you definitely feel, or I definitely feel like it's just, there's that shame of like, I wasn't strong enough, I wasn't good enough, whatever. It's I got sick, this got me, this thing overcame me, and it's a lot to accept, and it's a lot to kind of just carry with you every day, but not let dominate your forward thinking and your vision looking ahead. And it's really hard to set that aside and not let it just dominate the perspective, because now it's like, there's a feeling of like there's something wrong with me. And so yeah, when people ask, did it work? How do you know it worked? I don't. That's the hardest part. Every headache, stomach ache is a concern. It's just pretty unsettling, and I am on tamoxifen. It's a pill I take every day. I've been on it for about 7 weeks now, and it's linked to depression, and it's linked to mood changes. It's an anti-estrogen pill. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of my sadness isn't linked to the tamoxifen that I've been taking and supposed to take for 10 years. And yet I'm just learning that some cancers are resistant to tamoxifen, and about a third of women on tamoxifen for 10 years will develop a resistance to it. So that's another settling statistic right there. So just back in my car now, obviously you can see how bad my hair is too. So that's just another topic of frustration altogether. Is I did the Paxman cold cap, and it worked in terms of I got to keep hair. I lost probably 3/4 of my hair in terms of volume. The coverage stayed pretty good until the end, and honestly, it wasn't until the end that it got really thin, and then I cut what was left. As you can see, I've cut it to like chin length, like just long enough to put back into a ponytail. So most of the time I kind of put my hair back in this weird little ponytail thing, but then I have this like new growth coming in all around, which is like 2 inches long now, which is pretty cool to see. There's a lot of it coming in, like everywhere, this like new growth, but it's like 2 inches short, and it poofs out, and so my hair just looks terrible. And so I used to have long, beautiful hair and thick hair, and now every time I look in the mirror, I definitely, like, it's another thing that I feel like cancer kind of took from me. It like, thanks, you're gonna take like my beauty as well. But I mean, hair will grow back and stuff like that, and it's just hard to like kind of, it's like a reminder when you look at it every day. So I'm glad I did the cold cap, but did it work? Yeah. Did it work well? No, definitely. I don't think it worked well. But with my adriamycin and Cytoxin and Taxol regimen, it wasn't supposed to. It didn't have very good statistics anyway for efficacy anyway. So I'm grateful for what I have, but and again, I mean, it comes back, grateful, gratitude, trying to appreciate, give thanks for where you get grace and where you get flow and where you get mercy and where you get relief. And I've gotten grace, and I've had moments, obviously, of good flow and good fun and stuff. It's just been a lot to adjust to in this new world of like life kind of post cancer treatment, but like you're not really done. You're still living with this risk of, is it going to come back? And the scary part obviously is if it comes back, it kills you. You don't usually live through it. And yeah, I mean, they're making strides in breast cancer research and stuff, but it's just sad to think, like, I just turned 40 on October 10th, and I'm not looking, I mean, I don't see myself living past 60 at this point, if that. And that's it's kind of a bummer. And I mean, I kind of make jokes about it to make myself feel better. Like, oh, well, at least I don't have to deal with getting old, right? Ha ha. But it's like, gosh darn it, I don't want to die. I don't want to die young. It's like, I'd love to live long, and I would love to live into my 80s or 90s, or my gosh, make it to 100. But right now, I feel like that's a long shot, and it's tough. And so, I mean, what do? You just keep going one foot in front of the other and just try and keep going and stuff. And my husband, Ron, is throughout this entire experience been indescribably amazing and supportive, and that is not to be understated. And it's the love of family and the love of people and friends that, have offered such positivity and encouragement to me, and my sisters and, my parents and stepdad and just everybody that's kind of rallied around me and stuff. But it still doesn't take away the burden of having to live through it. And this burden is ultimately mine to carry, and it sucks. It's not a fun burden, obviously. It's not anything I would ever wish upon anybody. And now that I'm here, and like, I've this new world of kind of adjusting is just, it's been a lot to get used to. And so I'm just trying to, keep my head up and stuff. But yeah, this is definitely the most depressed I've been, I think, my entire life. I'm not usually a depressed kind of person, and I'm pretty good about keeping a positive attitude and persevering, and but I'm human too. And this has been hard. And the post-traumatic stress that I've read about on other women's blogs and other forums and stuff, it really feels real. Like, my irritability is maxed right now. I am cranky. I've been so irritable out on the trails. Like, somebody sees me and I'm like, hi, and they don't say hi back. It's like, inside it bothers me so much. Or like with the masks, I obviously have mine off now, but I mean, we're in the middle of a pandemic. Like, you're supposed to be riding and have your mask ready to pull up when you see somebody on the trail, so it's like all these little things I just find myself like getting irritated about. Or like, God forbid, another dude asks me like, are you okay? Like, oh my God, it's a girl alone in the forest. Oh my God, like, never seen, it's like, my crankiness is high, and they say irritability is a big sign, extreme irritability of post-traumatic stress, and of course depression, and just feeling down. And my self-esteem right now, I would just feel like is like, blah, that's just, yeah. So anyway, I'm here, I'm alive, and we never know how much time we have anyway, and all those cliches are true and stuff. But I tell you, when you've lived through something that would kill you if you hadn't caught it, and still might kill you, is definitely changes your kind of conception about like how much time do you have, and that whole life is short thing, and any of us any time, it becomes a lot more real. On the flip side, though, a good thing is my lymphedema is all but almost gone away. I was having a little bit of lymphedema back in August, like swelling in my thumb and forefingers and my arm a little bit, but it's really dissipated, which is great. So I'm continuing to do my stretches every day and, keep it moving. But, oh, horses. Oh, there's 3 horses walking right behind me. Awesome. So there's a lot of good stuff going on in the world, of course, and trying to stay focused on that, but we're all human, right? You can't fault yourself for being human and feeling emotions. And yeah, so anyway, thanks for listening, and that's about all I got.